through the lecture, because that would kind of annoy me, just a little bit. But alright, today we're going to be going over a very interesting game. If you do not know who these players are, you will most certainly know them by the end of the game. Let's see, do I want to give away why I chose this game? I don't think I do. Suffice it to say that Black, if you have not seen him or heard of him before, he is an extremely strong, good commune. He's an extremely strong Korean professional player. And I think you will be agreeing with me by the end of this game. Oh, he's actually number 2 in Korea right now? That's cool. I did not know his ranking, but there we go. But Gobaduk says that he is number 2. As per just about every single game I go over, unless specifically said otherwise, nothing unusual happens in the beginning of the game. We have a nice normal opening here. The only unusual thing that we see here is even though Black decides to approach the lower left-hand corner 4-4 stone, and many of us are now cringing and thinking to ourselves, oh my god, please, 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 not another Chinese game. Not another Chinese variation. I don't want to look at it. I cannot take it. I've seen nothing but Chinese games for the last 6 years now. Tell me he's not going to play it. But good for you, it's your lucky day. He does not actually play it. He backs off. Wait a minute. Oh my god, is this even the right game? Oh my god, I don't have the right game up. Wait, yeah, I do. Okay, yeah, I'm hallucinating. Sorry about that. Though still, yeah, he doesn't actually play it. He approaches the upper left-hand corner 3-4 stone instead. Thought I messed up there. Because usually when I'm about to prepare for a lecture, I have like about 10 games that I consider going over. So occasionally they kind of get mixed up in my brain. But no, we're good. False alarm. But yeah, no Chinese variations in this game. It's one of the reasons why I picked it. Because we're not actually going to see a Chinese variation today. Maybe next week though, no promises. Question right off the bat, why so far away is this normal? There are... I hear a weird high pitch humming outside. There are a few normal approaches here. The one space high and low you probably already know of. The not so common approaches are the 2 space. We don't see them quite so often. With these, there's usually something that you're going to say, such as, I already played it, so I'm not gonna kill the tree yet. My goal is to get past 10 moves. But yeah, goal here, if we play something like this, is maybe I don't want you pincering me, and I'm gonna give you the corner. The corner's yours. It's all yours. All I'm interested in maybe is, okay, now I just destroyed the tree. Oh well. Like I said, 10 was shooting for it, missed. That's just the day it's been. But yes, if we play this way, you get the corner, no problems, I get a base. Further murdering the tree, we could pincer. And if we're pincered, then I can play this variation, which we will see in a minute, and lo and behold, I can settle this way. Now, it is a little bit more unusual because, as I mentioned, you are essentially saying to your opponent, you know what, I don't mind you having this corner. That's something that you can go ahead and do. But there are plenty of Jiseki available to you. If you have not studied it, you can go ahead and do so later. But to show you just how badly I've now mangled this tree, White doesn't actually approach here. Probably thinking to himself that Black is farther away than normal. He decides to approach the bottom right-hand cornerstone. Also, whoops, there we go. Also using a little bit more strength from his one space response on the lower left in order to make something happen on the bottom of the board. Because he didn't back off low saying I want territory. He backed off high saying, you know what, maybe I want to use this influence for something on the bottom of the board. So that's where his area of interest lies right now. So now the question is, what to do? And there really is no right or wrong answer here. I mean, there's almost infinity variations that you can get into from here. You can say, okay, I'm interested more in territory as black. I'm going to attach and give my opponent some influence that he wants. I'll take the territory that I want, and the game will progress naturally along that fashion. We could say, you know what, I'm not into territory, I'm into blood. So I'm going to pincer here and see if we can't get into a fight and see who gets killed first. That could be fine too. Subsequently, you can follow up your last move. It's like, he approached me, or I approached him, sorry. He ignored me. I'm going to follow that up. That's completely okay as well. I mean, if you want, you could probably even get into an approach move on the corner again and pick a fight there as well. Almost anything is completely fine here. Tanuki everything, so says Gobaduk. Sorry, we are actually going to respond here. Must hold back the urge to call out a stupid move. That would be a good idea, yeah. Really? Is that the phone already? You're joking, right? One moment. Alright, sorry about that. Not urgent, hung up. So, continuing onwards. So here instead we see black attach for an interesting bit of a choice here. What is he interested in? Obviously he's interested in developing a wall here for the right side of the board. I thought there were no stupid moves. There can be very, very stupid moves. To highlight a few of them, you do see a lot of them in almost every move you make in the game. Because I can continue this, and we'll just keep adding to them. So no, that is in fact false. There are stupid moves. Let's see. Did any other have any comments? I guess move shall not be made. Oh, we're not. Yes, we're not saying the move that shall not be named. All right, no other comments there. Moving on then. So the question is, how do we respond to this? Has anyone seen this before? Is this something that everyone's familiar with? Do we know what we do when our opponent attaches on the top side rather than the bottom? Because that seems kind of strange. Usually it's the bottom and he's taking territory, I'm getting influence. Awesome. What do we do here? We do O5. Okay. And why O5? What is it we are saying with O5? What is it we are saying with O5? What do we want? What is our hopes? What are our dreams? What does O5 do for us? Yes, if we do Hane on the outside, rather than play R3, then we are saying, you know what? I will probably give you that corner. Because I'm either going to extend up, or I'm going to play this, or maybe even a solid connection. In which case, I'm just interested in the outside. That's all I want. White, on the other hand, decides that he's not going to do that. He is going to play for corner. It's like, no, you can get the influence. That's apparently what you want. I'll take some territory. And as we see the variation unfold, we can see why it's such an attractive variation for white. You get the corner in Sente. Not only do you get the corner in Sente, but for those who've studied this variation before, you know that Q5 here is actually available to you. You can cut this later on, and all your opponent can really do is just shrug his shoulders and give up the stones. Because if we actually run this out and give our opponent white a huge wall here, then why did we take the influence in the first place? I mean, all we've really done is created cutting stones, which can then be attacked. That's really bizarre. So that cut, we can just get rid of the stones there. Those can be an issue later. So alright, sweet, free territory for white. Time to take Sente and do the only other thing that makes sense on the board right now, which is to respond to the approaching stone that we have previously ignored. So he goes back and he pincers. Like to point out, very good relationship with these stones. Nice high to low. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Black goes into the corner. White defends this way. Approaching ourself first isn't a valid option. What? Approaching ourself? What do you mean approaching ourself? Like... Oh, over there. We could approach Q16. We might then lose Sente, though. So if we approach Q16 and we're saying, you know what, I don't really have any intention of responding to C14, maybe I'll just let black get another move over there. Because if I go off and do something else, like pick a fight, I don't know if I'm getting Sente there. It is entirely possible that your opponent will get Sente. And if your opponent gets Sente, that's the trade-off that we're making. So what white is saying here is, no, I'd rather use my Sente to deal with this stone before you can do something else there. So alright, he does something there. Black's not going to be able to just, you know, live free with a base or get in that really handy-dandy little approach at C8 without being attacked, that sort of thing. Good question, though. Very good question. Right, so we pin Hani on the inside, which always looks very, very strange to people who are first looking at this Joseki, because that's not something that people are trained to do. Usually when they see something like this, they're thinking, okay, I'm going to Hana here immediately. But, you know, doing this, there's other variations where everyone kind of just gets to settle. He's looking to completely cut this. So alright, we have the Hane, and then the Atari and a Connect. Fairly simple variation to remember here. Black goes and turns. White decides to be a pest and threaten to bring out his his cutting stone to attack those two stones. Black says, no, you are not going to do that. I will surround your 3 if you try and mess with me. Yep, this is the game. So white turns, saying that you are not going to attack my 3 stones. They are my stones. Black gets to attack the top as a result, and white backs off. Yeah, the tree I destroyed so quickly. But, like I said, it's been that kind of day. Not surprised. But alright. We're at a point where everyone's settled again. There is a weak group on the board. There are open corners. There are areas to develop. Really, really difficult place to figure out what you're going to do. Again, it's almost one of those instances where we can find almost infinity variations, where the game can just... You can play this game over and over and over again with like a friend or something, and you're always going to find different things to do at this stage of the game. So let's see what Black decides to do. He decides to use, and I think this is really, really cool, he decides to use this as influence. And as you know, usually with influence you want to attack something, right? So he decides to find out how much Aji is in this group. What can C14 do? What are you going to allow me to do? Is my group going to get stronger in the center? And the reason why he's doing this, a light should go off in all of your heads every time you see a move like this. He's not saying, dude, I'm so gonna kill this group now. Just you wait and see. In 20 or 30 moves, this group's gonna die. No, 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 no. He's saying, I'm gonna get stronger here against the group that's already alive, because the only weak group white has are these 2 stones, so when I attack it, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna feel that very, very keenly. So he wants to get stronger here. White, as a result, plays the Hane. Doesn't do something passive like, well, I'm just going to take my territory now, because he knows if he gives a larger amount of influence to his opponent, you know what's going to happen. He's going to kill you. That, and there's still the Aj at c14 to contend with. So alright, we don't have that, we have this, which potentially lets black come in, but doesn't get involved in anything tricky. He just connects, because he's alive. He's not going to get into cuttings and trying to killings and things like that. If black connects now, though, we lose our idea, because that's Sente for white. So now we launch our attack. Just tried to find out how much Aji he had available to himself. He got that question answered, now he's going to play elsewhere. And the beauty of that is, this is just white's headache to deal with now. I mean, does white want to make this into territory for himself at some point? He might. But it's up to him to figure out how to destroy those stones if he's going to be able to. Otherwise, at like almost any point in the game, I mean, black can just play whatever he wants in order to continue settling there. So, a bit of an unusual move to find, but a very, very cool one. I am definitely a fan of that move. White says, okay, sure, you're attacking me, but look how much space is involved in this attack. I mean, we've got all of this still, we can still get out, we're not in trouble, right? Even have a forcing move here. So he just takes his forcing move, looks at this enormous amount of space, the fact that he's nowhere near surrounded, and he splits the right hand side. Isn't N17 kind of wishy-washy? N17 kind of wishy-washy. What's N? Ooh, that one. Okay. Why doesn't B go one further closer? All right, that's a reasonable question. Reason why he didn't go one further away, obviously, is because he wanted to put pressure on. Reason why he played the small knight is it's still an enclosure, which actually gives us a source of maybe we can actually develop here with territory or something. If we go further, or with either territory in the corner or the whole influence on the right hand side bit. If we go further, we could play here. We could play here. That's true. But what we're saying with this is we're not really profiting as yet. We're going to attack this group for quite a while and profit that way, because there's still a lot of Aji that we're leaving behind, right? The corner is even more open, and we don't have anything on the right-hand side yet. So it's not really wishy-washy, it's a very solid move, because he's actually getting very tangible amount of profit here, while still maintaining pressure on our opponent. Because right now, keep in mind, if we play something like L17, it's kind of what I refer to as being all in, because where else are we developing right now? I mean, do we have any solid points of territory anywhere? Or anything that we even think that we can turn into solid points of territory anywhere? The answer to that is kind of sort of no. We have this stone, which is kind of not that great. I like this because he's beginning to kind of think about how to turn what he has for himself into solid points. I mean, you can try to play the more aggressive variation, right? But there's going to be a lot of Aji left behind in the process. Alright, so forward 1. Black split, or white splits black, rather. There we go. Now we have to find out, how are we going to respond to this stone? Very important way. Must get this one right. Are we going to approach it from the top or the bottom? Ruki says bottom. Severus Black says bottom. Is anyone gonna say top? That's why I always ask that question. It's so cool how we have, like, the 1Ds disagreeing with themselves. Black does decide to approach from the bottom. We could do R13, but I would draw your attention to the shape you just made, for starters. That shape is not your friend. This is saying, I don't like my territory. I'd like you to take it away from me. And it might. But not only that, we have to keep in mind that this has that cutting point, right? And that's an issue. So this way, maybe we're protecting our cutting point a little bit. Harder to use, also putting pressure on white. Okay. White's going to take its extension, and black is going to be greedy as you can possibly be. The only other way to play greedier here is to do something like attach underneath and hope they just back off and just over concentrate them. That's like the only other way you can be greedier here. Hey, I don't pressure anyone into saying anything. But alright, Gobuduk is immediately keening on to the fact that we have a problem here. We've got a 2-space extension here, and we've got a group here. Now keep in mind, this group, neither of these groups should die. There's way too much space that they'll probably all be able to live. The question we usually wind up asking ourselves is, but at what cost? So, white says, I'm defending myself immediately. Black pokes. White goes for life. Black pokes again. Cuts through. Goes underneath. And white's alive and goes hey. But hey, good enough. We got rid of a very important cut point. Because keep in mind, here, there was an Atari. Not so much anymore. So that right there is very, very nice for black. And now I'm going to ask you a question. What would you do with Sente? Because this is a turning point. As pointed out, we've got weak groups on the board, we've got corners that we can invade, we've got light stones on the left that we can make shape with. What do you do? I would... Oh my god, that reminds me of a StarCraft game I played the other night. Let's see. F5 was my first idea. Okay. Ask what white wants and take it away. Now, I would really, really love to see that. Like, at a tournament, to just look up at your opponent and be like, what is it you're trying to accomplish here? Just see if they'd answer. It's like, oh, I really want to make this area mine. Like, oh, okay. Click. That'd be kind of funny. Let's see. Ooh, Nezumi. Nezumi 8, Future Pro, says something on top, I think. I want to separate the weak groups. A wise decision that is, Nezumi 8. Awesome. Completely awesome. What does this do, peoples? Tell me. What's it do? Why is this move just so freaking cool? Breaks ladder, attacks groups, separates groups. This is one of those moves where if you see it in your game, you start to cry. Because you can almost see like how horrible this game is going to go with just one move. It's like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to get screwed everywhere. Huh. Well, isn't that fascinating? It's like, okay, I guess we're gonna respond to it, but that's all Black wanted. So he goes and cuts. And keep in mind, it's even worse than that, because we don't even have to say to ourselves, okay, we're gonna separate everything and we're gonna attack everything and something's gonna die. It's gonna be awesome. But we don't have to do that, because Black's actually set up to just fricking use the influence. Right? So this is like 3 stages of destruction here. Oh, gotta love Idra references in Go. Alright, so we're cut, clearly. Time to do something about that. Maybe I can attach and strengthen myself and get a good position here. That's the goal. Black responds, okay, goal's looking good, goal's looking good. Now we're going to Hane to keep that going. Now if he backs off, we're getting a nice strong position, and we won't have to worry about horrible things happening to us anymore. Okay, that's not going well. He didn't back off, he Atari'd. Now we're in some trouble. But we can't give up that Stone Ilex, that's way too strong, so we have to save it. I mean, that's like infinity points going to Black if he actually gets the Panyuki there, so no, don't want that to happen. Playing the Atari. Now we're all nicely separated still. And let's see, does that ladder work for us yet? No, it doesn't work for us yet either. Okay, so we have to extend. Again, don't want to take that away. Black connects. White's now safe on the top. That's a large area. Can't throw in and do bad things to us. But the right is still in a little bit of trouble, and by a little bit of trouble, I mean horrifyingly almost all dead. But alright, Black's gonna just connect and be strong and attack. So that means White has Sente to try and, you know, make shape and turn this around. That's good, that's good. White goes with the Atari. Let's carefully read out this ladder and see where it goes. Okay. It seems to go to the stones that are just 3 spaces away. I think it's pretty safe to extend that. Yes, B was number 2, is number 2. So, Black extends. Who here thinks this game's going to continue on for more than 20 moves? Okay, everyone? Okay, almost everyone does. Do you see a way for this position to live nice and convincingly? It's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? It is a bit of a tough one. So White plays the Hane. Black responds. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You have a thing. Okay, you have 011. And then that. And then this. Yeah. And then that. Yeah, this is actual game 2, by the way, so he's like really good at this. And then 013. Yep. All of this is actually what's played. All of this is actually what's played. And then white extends. And then black says, I'm gonna live. And white extends again. Doing well so far. Can't really cut just yet, right? Unless we cut this way, which black does. A situation you are very familiar with then, Okay. So white protects, obviously. Black is forced to take, otherwise, you know, dead stones. Giving white the ability to descend. Pretty clever. Try to force black to take it, and that way you've got liberty shortage on the middle group. But black says, I've seen that one before. You can take your stone. I like my liberties. You're not going to use them to do anything fancy in the middle. Not going to get stronger there. You can take your 1 stone. So white takes his 1 stone. And black extends. So that is a pretty peaceful result to what we have here. What do you think? Good for both? Looking good for black, so says Sweetness. Okay. I think black got the better deal. Is there anything in particular as to why you say black has a better deal right now? There's something very important to realize with this particular group. Huge corner, right side is nice, very, very true. There does seem to be some urging on the right for black. If black extends, and white responds, and black descends, can we still make 2 eyes? Looks like white's not completely 100% alive here just yet. So that's also good. Black's developing that middle. White's not completely alive in the center. Will live, obviously, but, you know, not quite there yet. Only a slight edge for black at the moment. Yeah. I'll agree with that. So white takes Sente and says, you know what? Those stones are going to be a problem with you getting all this influence. So I'm going to take the left-hand side for myself. And wow, is that a huge move. Because if he does actually get the entire left-hand side, that is definitely nice. And black is just super patient. It's like, oh, you're gonna, okay, I'm gonna play here now. Really? White's trying to get all of the left. And the stuff. I mean, no. This is where you're supposed to, like, growl and make your stones live and smash his face in. Leave him with nothing. Just tears on the board from how he was not able to do anything in this game. So why did we play this? Black's trying to get a third of the board. Yeah, it kind of does, huh? He is kind of trying to do that. He's threatening to surround the middle, which is really cool. Well, okay, there's 2 things in the middle. There's this and this. So black is obviously not a Q player. He doesn't just immediately look at what White's trying to develop and say to himself, like,
"Oh no, I better go and try to destroy everything my opponent's trying to do, or I'm going to be really, really in trouble."
Instead, what he says is, I'm going to develop the things that I have. He's going to worry about me right now, not the other way around. So, okay. White kicks. And again, Black's like, dude, I'm surrounding you. I'd appreciate it if you would respond to my moves. So White responds. And Black's like, no. I'm surrounding your group. You should respond to that instead. Oops, misclick. So, okay. White understands he's in trouble, and he goes back and lives. Connects his stones on up, completely surrounding the top. White says, I need to make sure that I'm alive on the top as well, which, you know, he's going to be. Completely fine up there. And then he goes back and responds. So he didn't get impatient. He was just like, well, I'm going to threaten to surround the top and make myself stronger in the middle, which we saw continued. He surrounded a group that wasn't alive yet to get himself stronger in the middle. And because he knew what he was doing was severe, he could read, like, okay, if I get like this movement on the right when this group is surrounded, it's just freaking dead, right? There's no variations, it's just toast. He knew that was a strong idea, rather. Blech. He saw these completely undercut, White on the top. Same thing happens. If I surround you, you ignore me, I'm going to kill you. So, good reading there too. Then he goes back and plays here. But White is now having Sente. And he says, I'm going to start reducing you. You haven't learned enough about being a pro. Because if you were, then you would know that there's nothing in the middle ever for a professional player. I can see that you are developing the center. I'm going to reduce your center. So here's the question for all of you. You're trying to be reduced in the center. Someone's trying to take it all away from you. What do? How do you handle this as Black? Oh, cut it? Cut it? Really? That is not a very professional of you. Oh, Shy, we have no time for counting, man. Cutting is an interesting idea. It's just... you'll see. I don't want to give anything away. Live on the left. Okay, Rukus, that's an idea I can work with. Rukus, you are almost pro. Congratulations. Black jumps into the 3-3. So immediately it's like, wait a minute, so he's trying to develop all of this, but he's just going to reduce me? I play one move in the middle, and then he gives up about the center? Really? Dude, that's awesome. I love being a pro. I can just do this and they give up. It's great. Ah, okay. Just reduction. I can handle that. No problem. Boom. We're responding. And then Black decides he's going to try and cut through here. Doesn't work. I mean, we can just respond this way. Now we're nice and connected. Black must be getting pretty desperate right about now, right? I mean, we're nice and strong. We're out in the middle. He tried to cut us, but we totally saw through that. We're pro, right? So we can completely read that that's trying to be cut. No problem. So, okay. What's Black going to do now? Black is going to try to reduce us. Whatever, we can just go and kill the bottom. It's completely fine. Trying to live on the corner. Okay, expected that to happen. He was interested in that 3-3 point. I'll just make it difficult on him to do so. No problem, no problem. Realizing he can't live there, he's trying to connect up. White is totally in the driver's seat now. He must be feeling completely fine. Just gonna go ahead and poke through here, make it hard for him to connect up. Maybe even be able to cap him. That'd be great, right? Get a weak group here, stronger in the center. Reduce all of this and leave black just crying that nothing worked out because he went for this center strategy. I mean, who does that? Okay, no problem. So white, black connects. Okay, great. Connect, clamp here. Try and kill it. No problem, no problem. Okay. We can totally Atari that. And is that really gonna live? Okay. Doesn't look like it, right? Because we can just do this and connect. No problem. I mean, how is that possibly gonna live on the left-hand side of the board? Oh wait, he's not trying to, because he's been trying to build up the center this entire time. Well, that's a thing. So apparently he might have just gotten the entire middle for himself. So we have to live with that existing now. And not only did he get it, but I think he just got it in Sente. Because white has to go back and kill off this stone. Otherwise, are you really alive here just yet? Problem. Okay, so we have to kill that off apparently. So we get to make sure that he can't Hane. Oh heck. Well now. Things could be worse. Things could be worse. We're mostly entirely locked out of the center, to which black has been strengthening the entire game. On the bright side, we've got some really kicking territory on the left-hand side. All we have to do is find a way to reduce this. Any ideas? R8. Okay, R8. I see what you're thinking with R8. Interesting. Trying to connect up one to the other. Petition for new rule points in center worth 0.5. That would work. That would work. You have to define like at what point something's considered in the center. Is it like, let's see, anything above 4th line is going to be in the center. That way, all of white's territory stay the same. And only blacks change. Good rule. Good rule. You might want to consider a life in politics. Just saying. But all right. White decides to go with the YOLO strategy, where he plays a stone in the middle, almost seemingly at random. So now we all can totally just empathize with white, because we've all been here. So the question we have to ask ourselves is black, when we see a reduction like this. One, is this a forcing move? If it's a forcing move, we have to respond. And that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good move for white if it's a forcing move. Obviously, it's way too far away for this to be forcing anything. Okay, not forcing move. There's like no ladder breakers. There's there's really nothing of any consideration here. So we can immediately say you're never escaping with this stone ever again. So, alright. We got that now. White responds. He's now tipped his hand. He's seeing all of these stones. And he's going to try to make them work together. Because he's got, like, attachments and things. Alright, alright. Black says, I can play here. No problem. I'm just going to completely destroy your hopes and dreams of doing anything in that area. White Hane's, black disappeared, or not disappears. Lol, you can't make your stones disappear in a Go game? Where the heck did that come from? Oh man, that would totally suck if, like, move 50, your opponent's moves just vanished from the board and you had to guess what he was playing off of now. Yes, B took Tengen. Thank you for pointing that out. But we can't leave, because that cut point exists. So, guess we're going to try and defend it this way, and we can, you know, leave. Black separates. Plays the Atari. And now we have a glorious Ko in our hands. Threat. And ignored. Interesting decision. Follows up. Gets eye shape for himself. White should have 4-pulled. Can really tell who the StarCraft Go players are. What was my train of thought? Right, black connects. Wait, what? Yeah, black connects. There we go. White plays the Atari. Black takes. Threatens to cut through. And lives. Okay. So, the damage has been kept to a minimal. Why am I missing a move? No, it is not. It really is not. Okay, it is his turn. Alright, there we go. So, black goes back and tries to keep attacking. Because even though it looks like our left-hand side Ko threat didn't amount to very much, we can still see that we got stronger down here, which was important for this whole middle group thing. So he's going to continue. Here, there we go. Black connects. White's still not out of danger yet, so he is going to keep trying to surround. No problems there. White's still trying to connect and surround black this time. And now we have an interesting problem on our hands. Who here can read this out? It looks like we're slowly approaching a capture race. And by slowly, I mean extremely fast. Seki would be really... oh man, Seki would be so wonderful for white. But we can't connect right now, otherwise black's going to be, you know, completely fine. So we have to threaten to live first. And threaten to live first. And threaten to live first. If we can live in Sente and then connect that stone, maybe it will be Seki. That would be really, really good. Maybe black will just die. That'd be even better. So where do we play here? We can't screw up. Can't screw up. Where do we play? What do we do? J10. Ooh, J10, huh? J10's an interesting move. It's an interesting move. J2, another interesting move. J10 says I want to kill 2 stones. While I'm doing that, it would be really, really great if you didn't just live on the bottom of the board. Right now we're trying to keep this from living. In a way that we're not going to just die. Oh, Gobaduk L2. How did you get L2? Do tell us, how do we find this move on our own, Gobaduk? Yep. It's great shape, connects under, stops really annoying things like this from ever being a thing, or that from ever being a thing. So that's nice. White says, okay, I'm going to prevent you from connecting up this way while threatening to connect up. I have an eye, you don't. So now you have to go and take your stone and I'll connect under and it will be victory for me. But black goes here instead. Okay, okay. Again, we separate. Keep those groups separated. L2 is not threatening to connect up anymore. But black gets to push in. Okay, that's an issue. That is an issue. Because if we respond to that, then what do we do? How do we respond to this in Sente so we can connect up G12? Don't think that's possible. So as Gobaduk says, resign is always Sente, and that is exactly what white does. Exactly where white ends the game. J4 is technically Sente, you are right. But I guess your goal here is to say that I'm going to go for a ladder, or not a ladder, a ko, I guess is the idea here. But no ko is worth this. Because this leads into something even worse than before. Let's say you threaten to kill something, and let's say this entire corner dies. Now you're going to go for your other corner as well. Oh, sorry. L4? Oh, yeah, you're right. I played that completely out of order. We wouldn't play that first. We would play this first. I think. Yeah, we'd play here first. You're right. You're right. Wrong on me. Wrong on me. So yeah, after this move, there's nothing that we can really do. For L4 can G1. Oh, yeah, could do that too, I suppose, can't you? Because you do that, that, Wait, and then go here. Can we do this? Really? Is there actually enough there? L4 before G12. Oh, before that. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. We can go there and then we can go here. Yeah. Alright, that makes more sense. So yeah, very cool. I really like this game for a couple of things. One, it was really easy to understand. I mean, no one looked at this move and said, "Dude, I wonder what Black's trying to do here." I mean, we instantly saw what was going on. When we saw the two groups that were weak on the board, we knew there was danger. This may have confused a few people, but we can see what the purpose was and how important it is to leave that and not commit to it. It was just to see what we had available to us. The patient moves, I always love seeing the patient moves. The patient moves are so cool. You can they're very nice. And then this, it's like White's trying to just like reduce. But even with what should be solid connections, Black's just like, okay, I'll just sacrifice the entire left-hand side of the board as long as I can cut you off again. Yeah. Some really great moves this game. Hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did. Wouldn't be able to let Black live on the left. I think if you let Black live on the left, you're in trouble. What would be your territory at that point if we just let him live? Okay, so we're gonna do this. We can't do that. We have to do something like this then, I guess? In which case, those stones are gonna die. And now the territory for Black is still there, and now the left-hand side. Territory for White is undercut on top, and still needs a move here, because this is the thing. I think he'd be resigning really soon. Yeah. That does not look like a very pleasant. But I do like this way a lot better. This way was so much more interesting. And I hope you guys thought this game was interesting as well. I certainly enjoyed going over it again. If there are no other questions, then thank you very much, everyone, for stopping by. I will go ahead and plug a link, because that's what I always do at the end of these things. That being, if you wish to donate to said lectures that I have every other week, you can